trying to live each day to the fullest. I think that's what I got the most from Simon, was that you've really got to embrace everything that you have in your life.
You meet somebody and you hear a story like that, it really comes home.
It's the story, isn't it? I mean, it's an incredible story. If some Hollywood scriptwriter got a hold of this, they go, no, that's too unbelievable.
We all have moments of truth in our life, and I want to talk to you about a couple of mine. And as I do, I want you to ask yourself these questions: what are your moments of truth in your life, and when they come, are you going to be ready? I grew up in a sports nut family. We were all crazy. I had two other brothers, so there's three of us. My father was a professional soccer coach. My oldest brother played on the Canadian Olympic soccer team, and that's Adam, absolute phenom. And I'm on the right, I'm the little runt. And to say that I was the fourth best in the house was probably a long shot, because we had a dog who was okay. But something happened to me as I grew up. I had this burning desire inside of me, and I started to get there. So when I came out of high school, I was fortunate enough to sign a professional contract over in London. Got to play against all the big guys, Arsenal and all Chelsea and all those fun guys. And on the horizon was the World Cup, biggest sporting event in the world. Canada was going to qualify, and it was the dream. I was going to be on the team. I was going to be in Mexico City.
His speech was ringing in my ears as I went through the weekend. It was very inspiring.
The talk he had yesterday really made me feel that he was speaking to just one person. Gave me goosebumps.
So I came back to Canada to train with the team full time, and I picked up a cold. Literally, I got a cold. You're athletes, right? We'll push through. We'll be better. You guys understand. Well, not so much.
Well, today we have the story of a man who received terrible news about his health.
About 1/3 of the people who contract it recover. Another third are permanently impaired but live. The remaining third defy all treatment and often die within months.
So instead of in 1986 in July, instead of standing on a soccer field in Mexico playing for Canada in the World Cup, I got to do this. You want to talk about a moment? When you're 21 years old and they're about to wheel you into the operating room and they're going to take your heart out of your chest and they're going to put somebody else's in, that's a moment that gives you perspective. So where do you go from here? Where does this young and dumb 21-year-old go from here? On the 22nd day, when I got out of the hospital, I said to myself, now I need to get fit, and I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to go run 3 or 4 miles. Why wouldn't you? I get to about 80, 90 yards. I just get to 100 yards. I'm done. That's it. I'm done. Couldn't run 100 yards. 6 months earlier, I was a world-class athlete on the way to the biggest sporting event in the world. And I knew that I had to do this, had to embrace zero, because I made a decision that day. And the decision was, I am going to come back.
But he overcame the news and accomplished what he set out to do.
Well, I was very lucky. I had a surgeon who said to me, Simon, the goal of transplantation is to live the life you led before you were sick. This is 3 years exactly to the day of my transplant, and I was drafted #1 overall in the Professional Soccer League in the United States.
He was a great speaker, and he will definitely change people's lives.
Well, I think with Simon, it's just what you see is what you get. He's just an authentic person and tells you how it is.
Just listen and you just reevaluate what you want to do with your life and what you could do with your life.
I wouldn't complete the story if I didn't introduce you to the young man who passed away. So off I go to the actual field. This is the actual field that I found myself standing on in a small town in Wales, where on July 7th, 1986, a group of 16 and 17-year-old boys were having a friendly game of soccer when one of them collapsed. He had a brain aneurysm and he died instantly. Here's my donor, his name is John Edward, and you know, in my kind of stories, these are the heroes, right? I mean, this poor kid didn't have a chance at life. At 17 years old, died on that field, and allowed me to get a second chance and live my dreams. And remember, I knew nothing about this guy for 25 years. Meet my son. John Edward, Sean Edward. Playing soccer, on a field, on Vancouver Drive. Cool stuff. You want to talk about a moment. Standing on a field with the boy's father, who I met that day for the first time ever. And I'm proud, not because of the reasons you might think, but I'm proud that I didn't waste an opportunity for this young man. I'm proud that, that I was able to recognize that in my life there was going to be moments and that I needed to prepare for them, and that I did prepare for them. This is a moment that I stood there and I said to John, I said, we did this. In our way, we've changed the world, because now we've broken a barrier, and that's important.
To see Simon now being able to take that story and to take that message out into the community and out to people that actually really need to hear it was something that got me excited about being a part of what Simon's doing and Simon's Foundation.
In his speeches, he's going to give them hope, you know, and he's going to give them something to strive for. Because when Simon speaks, you know, the kids listen.
When I got to listen to Simon talk to some of our Whitecaps hopefuls, I was completely amazed and inspired by the challenges that he had had and how he'd overcome them.
What are your moments? And when they come, are you going to be ready?